All right, hello. So I had to come back on here real quick and do this because the other day I did I did a Lenormand reading on the post-election and just general what's the vibe around it using my Lenormand deck. And just to recap, in case you didn't watch that, or my election prediction video. Um, in the election prediction video, I had predicted Kamala. I was obviously wrong, but that was who I predicted based on the cards that I drew, the tarot cards that I drew. Um, and it's funny because, like, in the previous readings that I did, that I didn't make videos on, but I did write-ups and posted them on my blog. It was very murky. Um, it wasn't really clear. I mean, it was, for me, it kind of leaned towards Donald Trump in those previous readings, but it was a toss-up. But the video prediction that I did, it was so strongly female or feminine energy. I mean, I don't know. For all I know, this could be, I don't know. I'm not even gonna front. I don't know. But then I did a follow-up video the morning after using my Lenormand deck, because Lenormand tends to be a little bit more straightforward than the tarot does. And so I'm sharing it like this, that way you can see the actual spread. Like, with tarot cards, you can just kind of throw them out there and this means that or whatever. But with Lenormand, it's best to read when you can see the whole spread, right? Anyhow, when I started that video, I was already in the middle of reading. I was on the fence about whether or not I would share, but since I did share, I didn't share the very first spread that I did, which, excuse my poor camera work, but it's this spread right here, because I take pictures of everything. If I'm not recording a video, I take pictures. Anyway, so here we are. These are the cards that I pulled. Still got to work on that manicure, so excuse my nails. The man card, the card in the center, is always the key card, or at least for me, the way that I read. The card in the center is the key card, the significator, basically the main idea, whatever the topic at hand is. And then everything that's going on around it is what the situation is, essentially. The top row is what's weighing down on this person. This card here would be the card that's describing what's behind them. And then this card over here to the right is what's ahead. And this here, you can look at it from, what's to come. But also take into consideration what this says here, what each what each column says, what each row says individually, and then figure out my message from there. Anyhow, so we have the significator here, the man card, which is Donald Trump. And what we have here on the top row is the whip, which signifies keywords: discipline or conflict. Next to the whip is the birds, which can represent chatter, literally Twitter, communication, relationships, gossip, stuff like that. The garden can represent community. I don't know if you can see that very well, but the garden can represent community and just being popular or having a lot of people around you. The rider can represent news or things happening quickly, or athleticism, or stuff like that, messages. something or someone that's very passionate. The Anchor, I think it's fairly self-explanatory, but it's something that's long-term or kind of rooted. It could also be new opportunities or new responsibilities, long-term responsibilities. Then we have the Book, which represents knowledge and education. The Snake, which could be desire, but it could also be deception, trickery. And then last but not least is the Clover, which represents opportunity, luck, optimism, things of that nature. So, being that these cards were pulled in post-election energy and just kind of what was going on around them, around Trump in particular, when I pulled this spread. Now, the spreads that I did for Kamala, I pulled on the last video. Anyhow, so yeah, top row, there's conflict or discipline due to conflict or discipline due to some sort of communication or perhaps miscommunication that took place around a lot of people. You know, that puts me in the mind of rallies, his rallies or her rallies, you know, these gatherings. Conflict, communication. So yeah, these two cards together, they would say miscommunication, just because, like I said, the whip represents conflict or discipline. So perhaps maybe some of the things that were said in his rallies, you know, maybe that was concern for them. Maybe this was something that he was thinking about, since it is like in his head. But again, I'm speaking 2 days after, or 3 days after the fact now, because it's November 8th and then election was November 5th. But speaking 3 days after the fact now, and so we're looking back on it, or I'm looking back on it, you know, hindsight is 2020, or, you know, I can see things a lot more clearer now. But yeah, I think that actually did bother him a little bit. I know the spread that I did after this one, I did the star spread, and in that one I was able to see where, okay, challenges for him are not really challenges. Like, the things that would ruin other people don't really have the same effect on Donald Trump. Because, I mean, at this point, what can he do to lose people? It's nothing. No matter what he does or says. You know, there are some people who are literally gonna ride with him till the wheels fall off. Anyway, so yeah, before Trump was the writer or news. So this is like some quick something or some quick news that was happening. And you know, Anchor, we talked about, I just said, you know, it can represent long-term opportunities or a new job or a new position. And what do we have? You know, at the moment, as of today, November 8th, he's still, you know, president-elect. He's still the winner of the 2024 United States presidential election. So he's in there, and he's getting ready. He's starting, you know, he's choosing people who he wants to be in his cabinet, which is what you're supposed to do whenever you win an election. But yeah, this news, this quick news, this fast, passionate news or message that was behind him. Now, I mentioned this in the previous video. I just didn't have the picture to pull up at the time because I had already reshuffled the cards. But I said that I saw the book and the snake. Well, this is what I was talking about. The book representing knowledge, and then the snake representing either deception or passion or both. It could be betrayal as well as seduction. This was where I said that his victory wasn't necessarily a clean one. Now, mind you, I know people who said that they were not voting in this election. People say it every year, but I know a lot of people said that they were not voting in this election. And based on a lot of the analyses that I've watched and read so far, they're saying that Donald Trump's numbers were typical, but Kamala Harris's numbers were horrible. So Donald Trump did as well as he did last election and the election before that. It's the Democratic side that failed. Now, like I said, even though my prediction was wrong, my prediction as far as who would be president was wrong, I still stand on the things that I said outside of it, which was that there was sabotage, or there might have been some sabotage on behalf of the Democratic Party, or somebody within Kamala's team will say that. Maybe not the whole Democratic Party. I don't I don't have an explanation for why, because my people, very rarely do my spirit people miss on anything. Sometimes it is just a matter of timing. Sometimes I can be a little impatient. Sometimes it's me who misinterprets the cards. So I'll say that too. But I don't I just don't I don't know. I don't know. And with these particular cards, I don't know. I kind of feel like this is one of those things where it ain't over till it's over. Does that mean that Kamala is going to take the office? No, not necessarily. Or if she's going to be in some significant position of power, possibly. Possibly. In the last video I did, I said, I don't know if this would be the beginning of the end of her political career or what. I don't know. I don't know. But I just know that it ain't over till it's over. So I don't know. I kind of feel like, even though the Democratic Party has been trying to play nice and take the higher road, they go low, we go high, that BS, by encouraging their supporters to peacefully accept the results of this election, because they're going to peacefully transfer power. If this had been an election that took place back in 2008, like, when Barack Obama won, or, hell, even when George Bush won, and that was a shit show, to say the least. I was a child when that happened, but looking back on it with adult eyes, like, yeah, that was a whole shit show. But there was still some sort of respect that was there, regardless of how elections turned out back then. Now this child. Anyway, I still don't believe that Donald Trump is supposed to be in office. I will say that, and I'm not saying that because I like him or dislike him, or I like Kamala more. I'm saying that's another thing that I said in my previous reading and in my prediction video, and I've seen it in the cards since then. I saw it in the cards before then, that the people, whoever the people that are in charge of everything, they do not want him in office. They don't. I know there's a lot of conspiracies, and hell, this is a conspiracy too. This is all alleged for entertainment purposes. But based on what I've seen, they don't want him in office, and this did not go the way that it was supposed to go. Not even for, the Republican Party. But the one thing about Republicans, though, is that they're going to stick together. They really are some ride or dies. They really are. And so, for all I know, that might be what this garden card is in reference to. Is his party that he's supposed to represent sticking together and rallying around him. Because if we look at this diagonally, here, look at, this going this way. You got this garden, this community of people around this man right here. Because they know something, which is what the book represents. It's knowledge. So what do they know? Like, I don't think they really believe in that man like that. Some of them do. Not all of them. This conflict here, whatever this calls conflict, or this source of discipline, maybe that's what it is. It's not necessarily conflict, but discipline. It's just created. Actually, no, you know what? It just came to me. I think it did. I think it helped more than what they were trying to do, because it's still in my conspiracy, my opinion, and based on what I've seen in the cards for myself. He didn't. I mean, that the assassination attempts were orchestrated, but they were not orchestrated by him. They were not hoaxes, or at least not on his behalf. They really were trying to get rid of him. They still trying to get rid of this man. But with him being the opportunist that he is, he used it to his advantage, which is the clover or the luck card, which is, that's how I'm interpreted it anyway. What it comes down to is Donald Trump plays dirty. All politicians do. Most, I ain't gonna say all, there are some politicians who actually do care about, trying to make their country a better place, their city, their state a better place. There are some. But most of them, most of them do not. There's a guy who ran in my city, and he just lost to his opponent. That lady is in her 80s, and she's been in that position for as long as I've been alive. We're going on 4 decades, and it's like, we got to give somebody else a chance eventually. And he seems like he actually cares about trying to make our city a better place and help bring life back to the parts of the town that have been run down. But apparently that ain't what the city wanted. It's not what the voters wanted. It is what it is. But I said that to say that, not all of them. There are some people who care. I don't think he's one of them, Donald Trump. Because the one thing that we're hearing right now is about how his federal charges are about to be dropped. Or his convictions are in the process of being dropped because, they can't sentence a sitting president. It is what it is, right? That's the law, or that's the policy. That's the, that's what's on the books. But yeah, there's some secrets, some deception, which is to be expected. Is this going to affect anything? Is it going to change anything? Who knows? But this was just the energy that I was picking up the day after the election. This is what is going on all around him. The day after, the morning after the election. So this is not only, maybe the Republican Party, but maybe also his family. You know, I have seen where they said that his family will not be as involved this time around, or maybe not on the surface anyway. I don't know if they're still going to be putting in work or making suggestions and stuff behind the scenes. But I think his daughter is going to be doing something else that's not part of the Trump administration, and you know Melania is not going to be living at the White House because she don't like that man. She did not sign up for this, but also to help protect their son because she didn't want her son to be a part of this circus. Because regardless of what you think about him as a person, as a president, as of whatever, um, at a minimum, the son doesn't deserve it. The youngest son, anyway. We ain't gonna talk about the oldest, but but yeah, it's somebody did something though. This knowledge, the lies, knowledge, deception, opportunity. So this knowledge, these secrets, this information, this deceptive information brought about some opportunity. So there we go.